Have you been thinking about texlaxing, but you're really stuck on whether or not texlaxing is the best option for your hair? Well, stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to be discussing my top 7 questions that every person should ask themselves before deciding whether to texlax. What's up everybody, Alexis Kimberly here. Welcome back to my channel. For the best hair, makeup, and beauty tips, definitely subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to be alerted every time I upload a video every Sunday. So you're thinking about texlaxing your hair, but you're unsure. You're feeling like, Alexis, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I should just stay natural, or maybe I should just stay relaxed. So I've compiled 7 questions that I would ask myself before texlaxing. These are 7 questions that if you answer the majority of these in the affirmative, I would say you're ready. So jumping into the first question, are you willing to go to the salon to get your hair done? For texlaxing, it really does require a professional. In order to make sure that you have a consistent texture every time you do your relaxer, it's important to be able to be consistent with the amount of time it takes for you to process your hair, and it's important for you to be consistent with the length of time in between relaxers. If you are not careful and you are not good about being consistent with the timing that you put the relaxer in your hair, get through it and allow it to process, your hair will be processed to sometimes a greater extent and sometimes a lesser extent. So it really takes a professional, in my opinion, to make sure that your relaxers are done within the specific time frame, that the relaxer is evenly distributed throughout your hair, and having it done professionally, the professional is going to have the best vantage point to see your hair and to see how it's processing, to ensure that the texture that you achieve in that service is consistent with the texture of your already relaxed hair. This brings me to my second question. Are you consistent with getting your relaxers done on a regular basis? The problem with stretching your relaxers on an inconsistent basis, meaning you go in and get your relaxer done 8 weeks post or 12 weeks post, and then the next time it's 16 weeks post, whatever it is. If you're not consistent with getting your relaxer done every 12 weeks, for example, you're going to have varying results with your texlaxed hair. And the reason why is because it's going to take your stylist longer to get through your hair if there's more new growth there than usual. So that means now your stylist is going to take more time to get through your hair, to get the relaxer through your hair, because there's more hair to relax, which means that your total processing time might get bumped up from maybe 10 minutes to 12 minutes or 12 minutes to 14 minutes because now your stylist is working with more hair. Let me know in the comments how many of you guys are doing your own relaxers and what's the reason for it. Is it cost? Is it because you just prefer to get your own products and do it yourself? What is it? Definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys have to say. The third question I would ask is, are you willing to give up bone straight hairstyles? Now, I'm not saying that you cannot accomplish a bone straight look with texlaxed hair. Like I mentioned in my previous video about texlax versus relax, you can achieve very versatile looks with texlaxed hair. You can have looks that are more on the natural side, like braid outs and twist outs or wash and goes, things like that. And you can also achieve more relaxed styles, more straight styles. But the difference with texlaxed hair is that you have more texture. So achieving bone straight looks are achievable, but they tend to revert a lot faster than relaxed hair. So that's something to keep in mind. If you are somebody who's wedded to really straight silky hair, perhaps texlaxing is not for you. My fourth question that I would ask is, are you willing to give up roller sets? Now I know that that's something it's a very specific question as to a very specific type of styling, but for me that was one of the biggest disappointments that I discovered after I decided already to become texlaxed. You still retain a lot of texture in your hair, especially when your hair is wet. So it's a lot more difficult when you're texlaxed to kind of smooth the hair onto the roller the same way that you would if you're relaxed. I don't really even think that it's possible, if I'm honest. I haven't tried, but there's so much texture left in my hair that there's really just no way for all of the strands to lay flat onto themselves for doing a roller set. Now I'm kind of restricted to blow drying and flat ironing if I want to achieve straight results. So that's definitely a question that you should ask yourself before texlaxing. And now the fifth question that I would ask myself before texlaxing is whether or not I can balance heat styling with heatless styling. Are you a heat styling addict? Are you able to resist the temptation to reach for that flat iron? Because I will say, again, with texlaxed hair, because you have more texture, your hair tends to revert faster than relaxed hair. No matter if you're relaxed or texlaxed, excessive heat styling is just bad for your hair. So if you're somebody who consistently reaches for the flat iron, perhaps texlaxing isn't for you. But if you can make the conscious decision in your mind that once you go texlax, you're going to make the commitment to not reach for that flat iron all the time, then perhaps you should consider texlaxing. That segues into my sixth question that I would ask myself, which is, are you okay with shrinkage and reversion? So when you're texlaxed, you still have texture, which means you still have shrinkage. So if you're natural, you know exactly what this is. But if you're relaxed, perhaps you don't. But when you're texlaxed, you retain a lot of texture in your hair. And so when your hair gets wet or when it's humid outside, your hair will shrink up and kind of revert into its natural coarseness. And a kind of sub question to the main question of shrinkage and reversion is, do you live in a humid climate? Because if you live in a humid climate, you are definitely going to experience that reversion with your hair. Because I know for me, as soon as I step out into air with any amount of moisture in it, my hair poofs up. I mean, it just reverts back to its kinky state. So that's something to consider. How much does it frustrate you when your hair reverts like that? And now the seventh and last question that I would ask is, are you patient when you're detangling your hair? As I've mentioned about 100 times in this video at this point, you have so much more texture in your hair when you're texlaxed. So that means that it's extra important that you are taking your time when you are detangling your hair. With that coarser texture, it's going to require more time to get through your hair. So this is not a process that you should rush. If you do rush, then you're gonna expose your hair to breakage. So that's something that you really need to commit to yourself before deciding to texlax. All right, guys, so those are my 7 questions that I would ask myself, or that I would recommend that you ask yourselves before deciding to texlax. If you answered yes to most of those questions that I've asked you, I think you're ready. I think you're ready to texlax. I absolutely encourage it. But if you're still having reservations, I really also encourage you to think about it. This is a permanent process. There's really no going back. So it's really something that you should self-assess, go through these questions. Are there changes that you're willing to make? Are there things that you're willing to tolerate that come with texlaxed hair? These are all questions that you should take into consideration before taking that plunge. As always, guys, if you like this video, give this a big thumbs up. I hope that these questions help guide you guys in your determinations on how you want to style your hair. I definitely have more hair content coming out for you guys. So if you like this video, if you like videos like these, definitely subscribe for my channel for more videos. I post every Sunday. But that's all from me, guys. Until next time, I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.